What's up, guys? It's me, Lumos Theromax, and what the fuck is happening with John Stewart in this new run? He is wilding out of control, and in the prior few chapters of this, we see him just having seen the source, but it's completely blown out of the water by what happens in this chapter, so hope you guys are absolutely ready. Picking up where we left off last, John had absorbed the Godstorm and began throwing hands with this really powerful guardian named Koyos, and this guardian is basically a rogue guardian who's trying to kill everyone, long story short, and he's not a fan of pretty much anyone, any of the guardians, because he feels like they're limiting the universe. And as a result of their battle, they explode into some sort of giant, ultra colorful jelly bean ball. John finds himself inside that thing, like inside the resulting explosion, or at least what we believe it is, and is trying to figure out what's going on. But where he's at is so toxic, he's having problems maintaining himself and maintaining his form. Still attempting to save the Green Lantern Corps and the United Planets, he fights against the onslaught of energies as he is basically confronted by some unknown figure in this place as he struggles against all of the forces at play. The source itself arrives and begins to explain to John that he is a manifestation of the true source, confirming our source having its own specific identity. It appears John manifested him because he was an ascended being and was behaving outside the intended framework of ascended beings, and he clarifies that no John in the entire Omniverse has ever been compared to this current version that we're messing with. John intends to use his mastery of his new ascended form to combine both magic and emotional energies to save the entire core, but the presence warns John that this will entirely empty John's energy reserves. But he remains ready to save his friends as the ball of energy he and Koyos created throws destructive waves of energy across all of Oa. These energy blasts undo any damage to technological structures, and people begin to read energy readings where the Green Lantern Central Power battery used to be, only to find something different in its stead. Martian Manhunter says he's never felt any psychic resonance like it before, which is wildly impressive. Wally West the Flash compares it to when he was first struck with the Speed Force, kinda, and Hal Jordan, who was previously separated from the emotional spectrum due to a lot of the things at play here, feels some sort of odd connection to it. Suddenly, his connection to the spectrum returns, and Hal finds himself recreating his ring once more, and he notes it feels like Abin Sur's rings, or the guy who had his ring before him. He asks for everyone to gather around this new beacon for his ultimate Hail Mary plan. Hal monologues about the lead up to Rebirth and his time as full construct Hal Jordan during Rebirth, and plans to give the Corps itself a rebirth with this new beacon. Giving all the Green Lantern's rings who were depowered during this event, and claims John left this beacon for them to use. They all speak the Green Lantern oath as they stick their hands up. In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil will escape my sight. Beware those who worship evil's might, and beware my power, Green Lantern's light. And before they can finish, a massive explosion occurs, striking all the lanterns with an array of energies from the multicolored beacon. When it dies down, the Green Lantern Corps in its entirety has been restored. Or so we think. Because it appears that it didn't affect everyone the same way, as most of them were converted into Green Lanterns, but some were converted into Blue Lanterns or Star Sapphires, even if they detested those cores. Simon had it worse, not getting any ring at all. However, the other rings present swirl around him. He gets a new sick outfit, and he begins to look at the rings and recognize whose rings they used to belong to. It seems that the rings all speak to Simon when no one else can hear them. It's then that each ring forms a construct of all of the lanterns who had passed away during this entire event. These lanterns aren't even sure or aware that they actually had died and are facing the reality that they have in this new construct form that they've acquired. Even if you were dead, it appears John saved their minds and souls and stored them inside these rings. Everyone begins to cope with the new status quo as we zoom further and further out from our current situation. until we reach the source itself, who confirms that the Guardians are all gone now, that Koyos had essentially killed them all, and John gave everyone a chance to survive. John claims that both the blue and pink cores need a place to exist without the Guardians, but the source says it'll fail regardless, but that's not why he's here. The source claims John absorbed the Godstorm and can't die from what he's done, and his tank can't ever truly remain empty. He claims John intentionally tried to essentially kill himself, and it's because he did not fully accept the ascension. Casually repowering himself to his prior glory, John says the power corrupts, referencing other corrupt beings that have come before him, such as Darkseid and Parallax Hal, but the source says power reveals, not corrupts. After all, John only ever helped people with the new powers that he had. The source confirms once more the death of all of the Guardians and the destruction of the Book of Oa, but wonders if this new status quo can withstand Isak, the new god, seeking the reincarnation of the new gods once more, or of the multiple cores on Oa, if that's even an attainable feat to try and achieve. The source itself says John shouldn't lie to him, and that he's already seen what future state John will choose and to chase it. So John does, teleporting to where he had originally left lanterns on the far side of the galaxy inside the Dark Sector. He shows up to save his allies as the Emerald Knight, with his new status quo as an ascended being. That being said, that's all really I have planned today. I think this is absolutely wacky and crazy stuff. I never in a million years would have imagined that John would be a character capable of communing with the source and or just blatantly resurrecting people from the dead and trapping their souls inside rings and stuff like this. This is absolutely wild. And may I say, this artwork is like absolutely top tier, man. I'm a huge fan. Hopefully we get more instances where we're messing around with the source itself. It's really curious because this person is not the presence. It's very clear that he specifies he is the source, and I'm wondering if this is the source from the Death of the New Gods storyline, or it's basically whole again after all of the events of being retconned back into reality once the hands showed up back in the day. But that being said, be sure to leave your like and comment down below on what you think. And not only for me, but check out the coffee shop content creators, which are all links in the description. There's some great guys. And tell me what you think, what the future state from here on out is for John Stewart. Because as of now, he is by far the most powerful lantern in the current status quo. Until next time, Lanterns. Later.